Hey everybody, welcome back to Book Time. My voice is a little deeper because I have allergies. Is anybody else struggling through the allergy season? It is real. But I have a major book haul for you. I was gone for about 2 weeks because I was on vacation. I was only really gone for a week, but it took me like a week to get back to my life. Does anyone understand when you need like a vacation from your vacation? So we went to Lake Michigan. We had such a great time. I'll put a few videos in here so you can see it.
Oh, there's people doing fireworks. It is 3:05.
But it was just so great. We had great family time. We ate great food. We loved Lake Michigan. Apparently, everybody in Michigan loves brunch, so we ate brunch a lot, and I gained a lot of weight, but that's beside the fact. But today I have a book haul. There were several used bookstores there that had like book of the month books for half price, and I thought it was just so cool. I ended up buying way too much. Maybe in your opinion it's not too much, but for me it's like a pretty decent book haul. Also, I won a giveaway where I have some books from that, and let's just jump right in. So the first book I got was How Sweet the Sound, and this actually is my Christian book that I got, and it goes over the stories of each hymn and what they were written about and who wrote them. The next book that I got is a book of the month from the used bookstore that I was talking about, and this is called The Age of Light, and I think this is a historical fiction. It says, a captivating debut album, The Age of Light, tells the story of a Vogue model turned renowned photographer Lee Miller in her search to forge a new identity as an artist after a life spent as a muse. Oh, that sounds really good, actually. The next book I got was by Jojo Moyes, I think. I don't really know, but this was on my TBR. This is The Giver of Stars. I've heard a lot about this, and it has high ratings on Goodreads. It says, Alice Wright marries handsome American Bennett Von Cleve, hoping to escape her stifling life in England, but small town Kentucky quickly proves equally claustrophobic, especially living alongside her overbearing father-in-law. So when a call goes out for a team of women to deliver books as part of Eleanor Roosevelt's new traveling library, Alice signs on enthusiastically. It actually sounds like a really good story plot. I love whenever they add in libraries or literature or the love of books into books already. I actually got 3 cozies, one of which I actually lent to a friend. The one I got was A Dark and Stormy Murder by Julia Buckley, and I'll put that right here. I actually finished it already, and it was a really cool story. I got the second book, which is Death in Dark Blue. I just love cozy mysteries. I'm new to them, and so this was actually recommended to me by my friend Keisha from A Book Like You, and it's Live and Let Chai. Actually, she recommended A Dark and Stormy Murder to me as well because she is like the queen of cozies and she's very knowledgeable. It says, life hasn't been so sweet for Everly Swan over the past couple of years, but now that she is back in her seaside hometown and the proud owner of a little iced tea shop and cafe right on the beach, things are finally starting to look up. That is, until a customer turns up dead on the boardwalk, with one of her Hallmark glass tea jars lying right next to him. The next book I got was a Jane Austen mystery. Pride and Prejudice was one of my favorite books, and this is called Pride and Premeditation. And it says 17-year-old aspiring law student Lizzie Bennet and young fledgling lawyer Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy go head-to-head in a murder case that has shocked London high society. But as the case and her feelings for Darcy become more complicated, Lizzie discovers that her dream career could make her happy, even if it might get her killed. That sounds so, so good. And if you hear anything in the background, that is my cat. The next book I got is Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. My friend Caitlyn got me this book, and I'll link her Instagram below. But I loved Lynn Painter's book better than the movies, and so this one is gonna be so cute. Just without reading the back, because I'm trying to like not read all of these. This is about people who hire these 2 people to object at their wedding, so that because they're too cowardly to call their wedding off, so they hire wedding objectors, like when someone says, you know, speak now or forever hold your peace, they would be the ones to speak out and be like, no, they shouldn't get married. So I feel like this is going to be so good. The blurb says their name, the objectors, their job to break up weddings is hired. Their dilemma, they just might be in love with each other. It sounds so good. The next one I got is The Love Hypothesis. This is also from my friend Caitlyn. And I really like how Allie Hazelwood, and she did this in Love Theoretically, put a lot of science into her books. So I'm assuming that she's a science buff, or she really enjoys science, because there's always science in her books. I'll just read the blurb for this. When a fake relationship between scientists meets the irresistible force of attraction, it throws one woman's carefully calculated theories on love into chaos. Next book I got is The Lost Apothecary. I got this book for one reason and one reason alone. I saw it on my friend Keisha, once again, A Book Like You, and I'll link her below. I saw it on her Goodreads, and so I thought it looked really good, and I looked it up. The blurb says, a forgotten history, a secret network of women, a legacy of poison and revenge. Welcome to The Lost Apothecary. And it sounds just like such a great book, so I'm excited. Kate Quinn, who is a historical fiction writer, she approves this book. She says, a bold, edgy, accomplished debut. I'm assuming this is a debut album. I'm so used to talking about Taylor Swift right now. By the way, if you love TTPD, comment below your favorite song. So this is her debut novel, not album. The next book that I got is by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this is The Fall of Wrath and Ruin. I have heard so many great things about this book. I can't even tell you all the things I've heard, but it says, she lives by her intuition and he feeds on her pleasure. I have no idea what it's about, so I'm actually gonna read a little bit in this one because I've never even looked it up. Long ago, the world was destroyed by gods. Only 9 cities were spared. Separated by vast wilderness, teeming with monsters and unimaginable dangers, each city is now ruled by a guardian, a royal who feeds on mortal pleasure. Born with an intuition that never fails, Callista knows her talents are of great value to the power-hungry of the world, so she lives hidden as a courtesan of the Baron of Archwood. In exchange for his protection, she grants him information. When her intuition leads her to save a traveling prince in dire trouble, the voice inside her blazes with warning and promise. Today he'll bring her joy, one day he'll bring her doom. Actually sounds really good. Little edgy, maybe a little spicy. I don't know a lot about Jennifer Armentrout, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. I don't love spicy books. I have to really be careful. Take it on a book by book basis and kind of see what I can skip, what I can peruse, what is too graphic and stuff like that. The next book I got, I have seen everywhere. My friend Wendy at Wendy's Inspired Reads has talked about this. Delaney from Tik Tok, I forget her last name, but she has talked about this. I'll link her below. This is her favorite book, one of them. It's The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. Now everybody always considers him just to be a small town romance writer, but I feel like this book just, I don't know, it's supposed to be just a different take, just really emotional. Now I've read a lot of emotional books recently, so I don't really know if I'm ready for this yet, but I'm excited. It says in 1996, everything changed for Maggie Dawes. Sent away at 16 to live with an aunt she barely knew in a remote village on North Carolina's Outer Banks, she could think of only the friends and family she left behind until she met Bryce Trickett, one of the few teenagers on the island. Handsome, genuine, and newly admitted to West Point, Bryce showed her how much there was to love about the windswept beach town and introduced her to photography, a passion that would define the rest of her life. By 2019, Maggie is a renowned travel photographer. She splits her time between running a successful gallery in New York City and photographing remote and iconic locations around the world. But this year she is unexpectedly grounded over Christmas, struggling to come to terms with a newly sobering medical diagnosis. Wow. Most of the books I have read recently have been about cancer, which is a little bit of a trigger for me because my dad recently passed away from cancer. So I have to be careful about the books that I'm reading because some of them can be really, really depressing, but I'll just check that one out and see what exactly her diagnosis is, etc. I won this in a giveaway. It's The Fury by, I don't even want to attempt this last name. You guys probably already know because he is the author of The Silent Patient, Michaelides. I don't know. The Fury is supposed to be a really good book. It's supposed to be sci-fi. This is a tale of murder, or maybe that's not quite true. At its heart, a love story, isn't it? Atlanta Lana Farrar is a recluse ex-movie star and one of the most famous women in the world. Every year she invites her closest friends to escape the English weather and spend Easter on an idyllic private Greek island. I tell you this because you may think you know this story. You probably read about it all the time. It caused a real stir in the tabloids, if you remember. It had all the necessary ingredients for a press sensation: a celebrity, a private island cut off by the wind, and a murder. It actually sounds really, really good. I'm excited. All right, I love Lisa Jewell, a best friend of mine. Morgan loves her. It's one of her favorite authors. I watched Keisha from A Book Like You's vlog on this. She vlogged a lot of different thriller books, and she really liked this book. I think a lot of people have loved this book, but specifically also the audio. So I'm excited to try this. It's None of This Is True. The blurb is: when a famous podcaster interviews a stranger promising to divulge the story of a lifetime, secrets emerge that threaten to expose the truth of the lives they've both worked hard to protect and project. That sounds really good. Now this one I have been wanting for a very long time. I saw it a long time ago. It was on like Facebook as an ad, and it just sounded like a really cool idea. It kind of reminded me of like, oh, I forget the name of it, but it's like Knives Out, the second movie, which is like the Onion movie. But it says Alex has all but given up on her dreams of becoming a published author when she receives a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to attend an exclusive month-long writing retreat at the estate of a feminist horror writer, Rosa Vallow. Even the knowledge that Rin, her former best friend and current rival, is attending doesn't dampen her excitement. But when everybody arrives, Rosa drops a bombshell. They must all complete an entire novel from scratch during the next month, and the author of the best one will receive a life-changing 7-figure publishing deal. But there's a lot of rivalry and a lot of drama and a lot of angst going on in this book. Now, I'm not going to read all of this one, but this is The Vampires of El Norte, and I heard about this book from 2 girls on TikTok, and I'll link them below. I know one is called Maddie, and I forget what the other sister's name is. This is supposed to be a story about like where vampires came from, so I'm really excited to like dive into this and see what all of the drama is about. Now, I also got a lot of books on my Kindle that I purchased, so up here I'll show you. I got The Breakup Tour, which is supposed to be really, really good, and I've heard it rumored that this is supposed to be about Taylor Swift, but kind of like from a distance, like, you know, secretively. I also got this book called Saving Ellipsis, and I heard about this book from Darlene Desi's YouTube channel, and I love her. She's amazing. And this book is supposed to be about the characters in a book that someone didn't finish. They're trying to like finish the story for him and like write the ending. So I felt like that like sounded really, really interesting. The next book I got was The Agency of Scandal. This is supposed to have Bridgerton vibes with like a small gazette where they do gossip columns, and so I'm excited to see what this is about. The next one I got is Done and Dusted, and I've heard a lot of good things about this author. I don't know the spice level, but I'm gonna try it and see if I like a cowboy romance. And the last one I got is The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I just love her, and I think that she's amazing, so I'm excited to dive in. Those are all my books for my book haul of late, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you have read some of those books, and if you have, comment below what your favorite one is, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.